welcome to the Highly Visible Podcast. It is a mid-Sunday morning, and I am here with my three friends, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Colin.
No, sir.
And Caden.
Good morrow.
I'm your good old Uncle Thomas, and we're about to do a little bit of that Would You Rather. I know you've read about the Would You Rather on the internets. We're bringing it to your ear holes. Colin.
Thomas.
Caden.
Dan.
I just want everybody to say my name.
Sorry, I had to. Okay.
Name.
Let's see. Try to get a nice little serve. Little layup one.
Get some heat going,
I got
buddy.
a nice one. I got one nice one in my list of six. No, actually, I guess that one's nice too. Are all of yours like evil, demented, like Saw stuff?
No, most of them are actual ones where you're going to have to maybe think a smidge.
Ooh.
All right, but we'll start with the fun one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is kind of demented, but it's fine. Would you rather fight a chicken to the death every time you get in your car, or fight a monkey with a sword once a year? Because the chicken in the car is a little bit of a hassle, but you could just get the monkey with the sword out of the way once a year if you wanted. But it is a monkey with the sword.
That monkey is twice as strong as you and twice as fast, and it's going right for your testicles. I'm doing chickens. I think after day 5, you would be able to do it in 30 seconds. And you get a free chicken every day. I think it's a sweet deal.
Well, that's fair.
I'm
I
not
also
eating a
think
monkey.
after day 30, it'd be like, okay, I really just want to go to Walmart right now. Like,
Well,
I really just want to go to the gas station and get a Gatorade. I don't want to murder a chicken.
Maybe you'd use your car less. It'd be good for the environment.
Yeah, you're going to start walking everywhere. But
I saw a video of a little kid in South America. They're like, go get a chicken. We're about to make dinner. And he literally just goes and finds a chicken. And in one swift motion, like literally the same way that like you would watch a teenage girl brush the hair out of her eyes, he bends down, grabs the chicken by the neck, lifts it up, twists it around, breaks the chicken's neck, and tucks it under his other arm and just keeps walking. Doesn't even stop. I think after day 5, that would be me. I'd be like, I'm going to Speedway. Chickens. Daniel.
Most certainly.
Hayden,
chicken.
what's your answer?
I probably agree with that. I'll probably have to deal with the chicken every day.
All right, since no one's brave enough to fight the fucking monkey, I'll do it because I don't want to be discouraged from doing things. I want to be able to go to Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to beat the monkey's ass. I'm going to steal his sword, impale him with it, and then I'm going to go get a chalupa.
I do got a weird question. So if it's once a year, is it random? Or is it like on a day? Like today's monkey
I like
day?
to imagine you get to pick it. But I don't think it really matters as long as you know.
Another
At
question.
least- a
So
little
does
bit
that
ahead
mean
of
that you
time.
could fight the monkey back to back on consecutive days and get like 2 years worth? Like you could like wait a
think if
whole
it was,
year
like-
and then do the monkey fight and then do the monkey fight the next day and then be free and clear for a whole year? That would make me more interested in the monkey fight with the sword.
Well, what kind of monkey are we talking about? Are we talking
Yeah. Are we talking about a
like
chimp?
chimpanzee? Or are we talking like a little like monkey? Like a
Yeah.
little like off a fucking like the museum.
If it's like
fuck that
Zubumafu,
monkey
I
up,
would be
dude.
much more interested in the monkey sword fight than a chimpanzee for sure.
I'm not well versed in my primates, or marsupials,
Fucking
whatever the fuck
amateur.
they are. So I'm not sure what kind of monkey it is. I just like to imagine he's just a nice, normal-sized monkey,
Are you
not
talking
a
about, like-
chimp, not a gorilla.
Okay. Like the ones in labs.
What's a normal sized monkey, Cullen?
I don't
Yeah.
fucking know. I'm out of my fucking element, Caden. Leave me alone.
I want to hear Dan's. I don't know.
Dan's just gonna shoot the monkey because he thinks he can bring a gun, but he's only actually allowed to use his hands.
A bare
How-
fucking handed.
What gun
I mean,
would
you got to think you like to get the convenience of only having to fight that fucking thing once, but one of those years you're going to be fucking wheeling your ass to Taco Bell with one arm.
What if you injure yourself for like that whole year? It wouldn't be worth it, right? That's a solid.
I think that might be
thing
the
to
last
think
year we
about.
see Cullen.
Might be. How big is this
That's
chicken too?
Yeah, chickens aren't that big, dog. Even a big chicken, especially if it's already in a car contained. You know what I mean? It's like getting a boxer into a corner. I'm deucing up that chicken.
Yes, but even the biggest chicken, the first thing that came to my mind was like grabbing its fucking head and pulling it halfway through the door and slamming it shut. Like
Yeah, done.
that's a 10-second job.
Meh.
All right, that got gruesome.
Mm-hmm. But also, we'd butcher and freeze the first 12 chickens that we kill, and then we'll trade those to our friend that we know at the swap meet for one of those rotisserie machines that they have at the Kroger's, and then we would start our own rotisserie chicken business. That'd be awesome.
And we'd be rich.
We would
I'm
be.
about to say, act like we wouldn't run Tyson out of business.
Absolutely.
So, next, do you guys want Goofy again, or we want something that maybe you actually have to use your brain for?
Do you got any sex?
Brain power. I need
Brain.
to wake up. I need to use my brain.
All right, here's a good one. Would you rather live the same day for a year or have 5 years taken off of your life?
Do you get to pick the day?
No, I like to imagine it just being a random Tuesday.
Does everything you do on that day get erased the next time it resets?
Yeah, you'd live the same day the next day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like
I'd
that'd be
be
baller.
a fucking hellion.
I see. I think you feel like that's all fine and good, but I actually feel like there's a number. It's like, this 200th time you've lived this day, you're like, fuck. I don't like. I feel like
That's the
there's a
thing,
chance
though.
you just go completely psychopath.
You don't have to do the same thing every day, right?
You don't
So,
have
like,
to, no, but
that's what I
everyone
mean.
around you and everything happening in that day beside you is the same.
All you got to do
You
is
can still
drive a
do-
mile in any direction first thing in the morning
Yeah,
each
you
day.
can do different
and-
shit every day.
Not to mention, you don't have to go to work because you're not going to get fired because tomorrow's the same day. You don't got to go to school. You don't got to, you know what I mean? You don't even got to feed the dog. Fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah, you literally wake up with money in your bank account, whatever
Yeah,
you had that day.
I would almost give a year of my life in exchange for the opportunity to do that, because not only is it that you have a whole year to learn a new thing with no distractions. So like I could on a Thursday get stuck in this loop, and then by Saturday I just spent an entire year learning how to do some cool thing that I didn't have to pay for. Like I could become a pottery guy. I could learn Spanish. I could literally just fly to Mexico every morning and just learn Spanish. This would be fun. I could figure out where all the expensive, easy to steal stuff is right around me, and like every day just get more better at stealing fun stuff. I could figure out what stock's going to hit tomorrow, and I could invest a bunch of money in it. Dude, give me the Groundhog
You
Day.
also have like no meaningful interaction with people. That's a problem. It's like your kids are never going to have anything new for a whole year. You're going to have to listen to the same fucking stories.
Mhm.
And you just lose all meaningful interaction with the people that are closest to you currently. So I think
I
it's
would-
a lot harder. I don't think I pick the same.
It would
day.
be like going on vacation for a year, but also like you get to kiss them on the cheek every morning before you leave still. So I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, because regardless of what you do that day, you fucking wake up and it's reset. So you could
Yeah,
go
like-
down and do like, blow up a hospital for one, and then wake up and you're like, it's okay now.
Just round up all the homeless people in a town and
Have them fight to the death. Yeah.
Stop.
Because
Stop.
then the next day,
No, stop
it's
it.
okay. It's okay.
every day you can improve the seeds of the tournament to make the fights better.
Exactly.
The one way I see that being like just the worst is if if it got to randomly pick a day and you wound up getting put like right in the dead fucking center of like 2020, where you live every day on
Yeah.
repeat, but you can't fucking do anything.
Yeah. So
That
But if
would
you
be
know that the day starts over tomorrow, I think I would just do stuff anyway.
well, no, I know, but it's not even just about that. It's about like no one else can do anything. Nobody else will be like all the NPCs will be locked in their homes and
That's not a
like-
bad thing. Or what if it's a day where you're like locked in a broom closet and you got to live that every day for a year? That would be awful.
yeah,
But
like
if it's
there
like a
are definitely
Saturday-
downsides.
This is Saturday
life
where
is
I
so-
wake up and make breakfast for my kids, and then we fucking hang out and go to the park and, be fat and lazy all day. That'd be the best.
Yeah. But for the majority of people, life is relatively like monotonous and repetitive. So, I mean, if it randomly decided on a day, there's at least a solid chance that it would just be a normal day. So that's fair.
Yeah, it's never going to be the day that you go to Cedar Point.
No.
So like if it was a
Wouldn't
work
wanna do
day,
that.
but if it was a work day, do you have to go to work that day?
I'm in a
Or you
meeting, my
might just
son.
Be like,
No, sir.
Like-
No, if it goes
I
like
said.
Thomas said earlier, it's a good point. It's not like you're gonna get fired or anything because the day starts over.
it resets.
All
Yeah.
you gotta, you just gotta make sure on that 365th day that you're actually there. Like, you
'Cause-
just be like, all
yeah.
right, back to the old grind.
Eventually, it's gonna roll over, right?
But outside of that, you'd be good.
I don't know.
Okay.
The opportunity, I'm too curious. I don't think I'd be able to. The other thing is like the Groundhog Day movie thing, where you literally know everything that's about to happen, so you can like save the day and like be everyone's favorite person for a day. I don't think I could resist the urge to do that either. You know what I mean? Like you'll know when someone's about to drop their coffee and you can catch it for them. You'll know when someone's about to walk into the street, you can save their life. You know when somebody's about to like make a horrible mistake and like text a dirty picture to their mom or something and stop them from doing that. Like you would know all of these weird things by being able to observe people for a few weeks, and you could like do a bunch of really awesome things during that day that would make people's like rest of their life better. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, my answer I think is 5 years off my life.
Oh, I have another question about this too. If you die during this day, are you dead forever, or do you just wake up the next day and start over again? Because that's another whole different thing. Like, I would absolutely try bungee jumping and parachuting and a bunch of dangerous shit if I was just going to wake up the next day.
I think if you die, you die.
Okay.
Boring.
Boring.
I don't think you also get to be invincible, because that feels like it's like, okay, well, maybe I could just.
There was.
Oh, I'm not saying invincible. I'm saying like you would absolutely experience your own death, but then you just wake up again the next day, starting that day over again. Then it
like
might
a
be
horror
worth it.
movie. Like,
Yeah,
and
you're
this
kidding.
girl, she'd wake up, like she was out of college, and every day she woke up, there's a murderer chasing her, and she wakes up and she's like, "Oh, that was a weird dream," and it's the same day, and the same murderer is chasing her and kills her again.
It's the awful version of what I was saying.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like Kenny on South Park.
Yeah, a little
Just
bit.
gets shot in the face, and then I'll just wake up in the bed the next morning. Like, everything's okay.
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 I'm trying to do a silly one. This list is too fucking long.
Do you have any sexy ones?
Sexy ones? No, I do
Yeah.
not have any sexy ones.
What's the fun in that?
Okay, here, I'm going to give you 2 very shitty powers. Would you rather have the power to teleport 5 feet in any direction, or see 30 seconds into the future every 2 minutes?
I think
So,
the
like,
30
every 2
seconds.
minutes-
Go for it.
So like
Okay.
every 2 minutes, like you like get a vision in your head or something, or just like
You can. It's not like you have to use it. It'd be like a little, like in a game, it's like your superpower. You hit L1 and R1, and now you can see 30 seconds into the future.
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
we don't
if
use
that was
controllers over here, sir. We use mouse and keyboard.
You hit Q and P. I don't know.
U and E.
Sure.
You hold Alt.
First one is kind of tempting because I played Dishonored and like use the blink power. The
Yeah.
blink power is so cool. I'm like
5 meters. We're talking
5
15
feet's
feet.
not
That's
very far, but
5 feet.
5
Oh,
feet's not
5
very
feet.
far though.
Okay, yeah. It would be like good for dodging stuff. Like you could be like, "Hey, cop, shoot me!" Ha 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 ha. And then as soon as they pull up the thing, be like, "Bing!" 5 feet over there.
You're slightly to the left.
Yeah. What if
Ooh,
slightly
gotcha.
to the left is behind a brick wall? You know what I'm saying? You can figure out weird ways to use it, but I feel like you could also use the 30 seconds way more. Like you could go to the horse track
Yeah.
and just kick ass. You could go to the poker casino situation, kick ass, make a
Yeah,
bunch
for
of money.
sure.
Yeah, I think if you take gambling out of the 30 seconds, it kind of is worthless.
Take gambling. I'll take gambling.
Like, yeah, if you couldn't gamble
You still make
with
money.
30 seconds, I think it's
30 seconds is such a short loop. Yeah.
it's like, okay, I know I could keep myself from getting caught on my phone at work.
Yeah. You could see if a woman's going to reject you at the bar ahead of time and just not talk to her.
I don't think any of us are dealing with that problem.
Yeah.
No,
currently.
not at all. But I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to think of what could happen in 30 seconds. Like, you could just walk up and, like, if as soon as you intend to walk up to this lady and be like, "Are you actually staring at me, or are you staring at the thing behind me?" And like, just know which one is the answer, and just not have to talk to her at all and look like a dumbass. Or like, what if she is staring deeply, intensely into your soul, and you think she's watching the TV over your head? You missed an opportunity. You could find stuff like that out, maybe. It's bad.
Final answer, everyone. Dan.
Oh, I would definitely do the shifting 5 feet thing. Absolutely. I'd get into all kinds of shenanigans. I would get into some kind of like job, and there's no limit on it. Like every 2 minutes, like the other 30-second thing is there. Like it's you can just like
No.
bing, 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 bing. You're basically Nightcrawler from the X-Men.
Except for just like, but in shackles.
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
Like across the
Because I
world.
mean, like if you get, I don't know, like you could be the next Chris Angel and like stand on the center of a NASCAR track and just 5 feet to the left every time somebody goes 230 miles at you. Like
Yeah.
somebody would tune into
Be a
FX to watch
bullfighter.
that.
Yeah, for
Or,
sure.
you know, actually get my fat ass in shape, have the courage to join SOCOM and never get hit by a bullet because, you know, fuck you. Every time you pull the trigger, I'm 5 feet to the left. And
I
most
just
people
like-
suck at shooting anyway.
Fucking Dan just turns into an anime character. Just Just like
That's exactly what
I'd
I'd be running through Afghan with a fucking boot knife, dude.
That's legit. Like, could you imagine if
I'd be
you
a goober.
could go from here to 5 feet in 0.001 seconds? That means that you're going 5 feet every 0.001 seconds. So you would be going like 500 feet per second if you could concentrate hard enough to be like digga, 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 digga. That would be way more useful than the 30 seconds. Now that I think
I'd probably
about
go be
it
a
that
wide
way.
receiver and make millions. Just gonna say that.
Yes.
It's tempting.
I just like to
Like-
imagine that Dan has gone to Afghanistan with his little knife. He's been training for 3 years for this. Ripped as fuck, jacked. Fucking first time someone shoots, he dodges 5 feet to the left, and there was just already a bullet there, and he's just dead.
That's my luck. Absolutely.
You're
He's
bad
just
at
like,
shooting, right,
I
Dan?
thought
No.
I was.
Not even that. I'm the guy that gets on the plane to Afghanistan with this amazing ability, all this physique, all this training, and the equipment to actually claim souls. And then I get on the plane that crashes, and my 5 feet thing doesn't fucking help me at all. Like all I can do is permanently hover 5 feet against the ground. Like
All it
and
does
just-
is make it really easy to run away and leave all
Yep.
your buddies. Oh, yeah. You would be like Quicksilver if you used it right. It'd probably take a lot of mental energy, but you also would be able to like stand still most of the time. So I don't know. That would be kind
I
of fun.
think if it was a further distance, I'd probably take that because
if it was 15 feet, like the 5 yards we were talking
Like,
about.
I really like the game Dishonored.
Me
And
too.
the blink power.
Dude, you
It's
could
so cool to have.
if like physical barriers were no thing, like you could never be arrested. You could get into some thinner vaults. You could
I was
get
just about to say I never considered that. You could 5 feet right into the other side of a wall somewhere.
yeah.
Baller. You could change your grades in high school.
And if you don't, you just become one with the wall. And then you can't get out
Yeah,
of the wall.
that is a fair point. You just become atomized and you're just
Yeah, do you
Yeah.
replace the atoms 5 feet away from you, or do you intermingle with the atoms?
no, you
5
just
feet away?
displace them somewhere else in the known universe. So somewhere there's some alien that just got like
So presumably,
Swiss
if you held
cheese.
your breath, even if you did 5 feet into some concrete, you could 5 feet back to where you just were, as long as you didn't breathe in any concrete. That would be. We're getting way too into this, aren't we, Cullen?
Yeah, I was looking at my next question, and I came back into the conversation. I was like, "What the fuck are they talking?"
I haven't had the like, what superpower would you choose conversation with a intellectual equal in quite a while. I usually have it with my nephews, and they're always like, "I want to be really strong." I'm like, okay, guys.
Okay, so it's okay. I'm gonna bring us back to silly, even though that one was kind of silly. So would you rather have a free house, car, food, all your basic needs met for free, or have an army of 1,000 loyal dwarves that will do whatever you command?
Do they mine gold?
They do whatever you command, to the best of their ability.
We talking Tolkien dwarves? Or are we talking like real life, actual people with dwarfism?
I was picturing the underpants gnomes from South Park.
They're tiny.
They're
1,000 of
1,000
them?
little. There are 1,000 tiny little boys that will do whatever you. Okay, stop that.
Say,
Tiny
stop
1,000 little
right now.
little dwarves that will
Cullen was
do
like,
whatever you say.
What would be worse than talking weirdly about homeless people?
Listen, that's enough. Anyway, so yeah, 1,000 little beanie baby sized dwarves that are like 10 inches tall, walking around.
Are you asking
not
me if I
super
want to be
strong.
Santa Claus, basically, right now?
No, I
'Cause-
think elves are taller than dwarves.
But I could use them like elves, right? I got 1,000 of these little dudes, and
Basically,
they're all tiny.
yeah.
And they can make toys.
They could make toys. Yes.
They can make toys.
about to
knows
say
how
the
well?
the real question is like how smart are they?
They're
Where's your
your
deets,
average
bro?
mouth breather.
Oh God.
They're truckers.
They're truckers. Dude, truckers make a lot of money. If 12 of them can run a truck, you're making bank.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's enough equipment to rig up something that could make them run a truck.
I think so. I think they could just stand on top of each other.
What if we make a tiny little like
got 1,000.
destruction derby situation? We get them those gas powered RC cars, but we like just hook the controller up in the car, and they're like driving to the death. It's a real Twisted Metal Black situation. Lives hang in the balance, but they're like tiny lives, so it's fine.
But it's tiny lives, so
I'm
it's
just
okay.
I'm just trying to get with Caden. I'm trying to.
They
bond
mean
with
less.
Caden. No, I definitely would go with the. Was it for life or for a year or what was it, Cullen?
It was free everything for the rest of your life. Or
Oh,
1,000 dwarves
absolutely,
for the
yeah.
rest of
Just
your
to not
life.
have to worry about that would be the most excellent freedom. I wouldn't feel the need to have power over 1,000 tiny boys or whatever you're talking about.
You
if
quit
I
talking
had-
about boys.
Don't double down on my fuck up.
I'll double down on that.
I just highlighted.
I think you got to go dwarves because, like, even worst case scenario, I
He
could
thinks
teach
of us
1,000
as his
dwarves to
dwarves.
pack up boxes. I could do that. They could do it for me. I could sit there and
Get a little
on my
Penske
phone and hope
franchise.
that my bosses are like, well, you know what? The job's getting done by his dwarves. I mean, if he leaves, the dwarves aren't staying. So we're just going to be cool with it because he's doing
Mhm.
a lot. So I think that's your worst case scenario. Your best case scenario is your dwarf destruction derby goes fucking quadruple billion platinum and you're
Mhm.
just drowning in money and you
Yeah.
also did not do anything because they built the stadium themselves too.
Just swimming in my monies.
Or you
Just-
could have real house dwarves, you know.
Ooh.
We could have reality series about our dwarves. Like there's the possibilities are endless for me to
We
get
could
rich.
call
Whereas,
Elon, see if we can start populating Mars with these dwarves. They can start building the city that we're going to live in later. Let's start leasing out these dwarves. See, we're getting into real weird stuff when you're commanding people.
Yeah.
When do you stop commanding and start owning? This is some real sociological stuff here.
no, it's not.
Hey, I'm going with free everything. If it's literally like not like within reason, I don't ever have to pay
Yeah,
for
just
anything.
basic needs.
Yeah, like I would go get a job that I thought would be fun so I could have extra money to like buy like volleyball uniforms and dumb shit that I want to do because I don't have to like pay for stuff. Like I would join a woodworking club. I would start bird watching. I'd learn to surf. Free time is the real money. That's what you want the money for, so you can buy free time. If you just have free time, you don't need the money so much. I think that'd be fun. Also, if it's non-geographical, I could go live somewhere super stupid expensive like California and just not have to worry about that. That'd be dope.
Yep.
You could basically be a monk for a year if you wanted to, or you could be a vagabond with no consequences. You could do lots of cool stuff in a year if you just didn't have to worry about anything else. It would be like being a rich kid, basically, right? Like we're literally talking about a fantasy. We're just a rich kid. Like our parents are just going to pay for our credit card bills no matter what we swipe, and as long as we're
you're
not crazy.
forced to hold like meaningful,
Go-
not
we
even
can go, like,
meaningful.
live
Most
our
employment
dreams
isn't
and stuff.
meaningful employment. But yeah, you just like 90% of your financial obligations is just taken care of. So now all
Yeah.
you have to do is worry about your entertainment and your extra shit. Yeah, absolutely.
We're
Yeah, I don't-
fantasizing about being like a mediocre football player's sister's son. Like we have just enough money to not worry about money, and we don't have to worry about nothing else forever. Just a little bit of trust fund.
All right, Caden, please redeem us. Please,
So
please
it's
redeem us.
dwarves or what? What's
Or
the other
just like
option?
free basic needs like housing, utilities, food, water.
Oh, dwarves, easy, dude.
Like
I'd have my own little like Wall Street set up here,
Mm-hmm.
and my little dwarves would just monitor the stock system. You know,
day
all
trading
day.
dwarves.
Mhm.
my day
Not bad.
trading little dwarves.
Not bad.
Dude.
I was thinking like a
Okay.
legal casino. You know what I mean? Like have them like dig
They're
an
all dealers?
underground casino out, and then we'll just have
Yeah.
like super exclusive high end clientele. You know, like it's not illegal if the dwarves are dealing. We got to figure out a different name other than dwarves too. That's like taken.
I mean, especially if
Double
they're like the
taken.
ones
Underpants
off us.
gnomes.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're talking about mythical creatures. Mythical.
That's what I'm thinking. And then also the benefit to that, like, you know, if someone you don't like or someone that pisses you off, you just drop off like 20 of them fuckers at his house and just raid his fucking underwear. And he gets
Yeah.
up in the morning, go to work. He's like,
I don't got no underwear.
That is not where I thought that was going.
I was gonna, all of his cars are up on blocks. Like
Dan
all
was
of the
going more
glass has
lines
just
of
been removed from his windows. Placed
I thought we were
gently in
just
a
going to
stack.
have this dude drowning in a fucking ocean of knives and small things, just being consumed by the wave. I was like, I mean, yeah,
they all have toothpicks and they're just
like
It's like that
he
movie,
locks
Small
himself in a back
Soldiers.
closet. He thinks he's safe, but they just come flooding in from the vents. Like my army is unstoppable.
Yeah.
Okay.
The tiniest one is like squeezing his way through the vent or the drain in the shower as he's
Mhm.
barricaded himself onto the shitter crying. You will never
Okay.
cut in front of me in line at Kroger's again.
Jesus Christ.
Imagine if you gave a Karen this power, this 1,000 dwarf army. You know, you're like, I'm going to call the manager. And she's like, I'm going to call the manager of my 1,000 dwarfs.
All right, let's get us back on track, Thomas.
You
Here's
literally
one.
were like,
This is-
hey, let's talk about 1,000 dwarves. Don't get distracted by that.
Okay, would you rather get $2 million but everyone can read your mind, or eat a cheeseburger.
I'm going cheeseburger all day. You guys already kind of like borderline are scared of me now. If you could read my fucking mind, I would have no friends.
Dan?
Do you think I would pick?
Well, Dan's thoughts are just a terrifying place to be, so I gotta imagine you're eating a cheeseburger. Cheeseburger, nice and tasty.
No, he wants to inflict his thoughts on the world. And see
I don't give a shit. Who knows what I think? That's your fucking problem how you react to it. I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
I thought
Okay,
the
that's all
cheeseburger
I
at
thought.
first.
Mhm.
I thought about the cheeseburger at first because those are my private goddamn thoughts. But at the same time, not my
So,
problem.
if you were
I'd be so
giving me-
goddamn loaded, it would not. I just wouldn't give a shit.
If you were giving me this deal as an 80-year-old man, I might take it. But as a 35-year-old man with a life to live ahead of me, I don't want nobody knowing my thoughts. Thank you so much.
I would stand in
But-
front of somebody and hand them a single dollar every time I had a thought about them and I watched them
Man.
experience it.
All right, Dan. Listen, that's all fine and good, but what you're not thinking about is that your wife and child 1 and child 2 can also read your thoughts. So
Yeah.
when child 1's being a little bastard and you're like, God fucking damn, I hate this kid. He knows you just said that.
Mm-hmm.
Or you just have a passing thought that's something mean about wife. You're like, she knows. You're fucked. Like this is a bigger deal than you're making it out to be. Just because
No.
the mouth breathers that walk in your office know that you hate them.
His $2 million will last
I
that
have a
much
very-
longer while he's alone.
I have a very different relationship with my family than I feel like most people do. Me and my wife usually are very. Most people think that me and my wife fight a lot because we just are honest and we talk a certain way. Like we're very, what do you call that? Abrasive, usually. Like we can be pretty abrasive. Like she's usually more docile or whatever, but my kids, no, I've never, even if on my kids' worst day, I've never been like, I've never even had the thought of I hate you. It's just not something I do.
You
Like at the
always
most,
hedge
I'll be
it.
like, you're being an asshole, which I mean, if my kids
that's
can't
not the
handle
most.
It's like that thing when you're kids and your sibling is like, Mom, he said I'm stupid. And you're like, no, I said you were acting stupid. Like you do that in
Yeah.
your head with your kids. You're
Yeah.
like,
I
you would
know
say,
my
like,
kids aren't.
I hate
Yeah.
this, or I hate everything, or I hate having to deal with this. But you're never like,
Yeah.
I hate this little person, because you don't,
Yeah.
like, you physically can't. It's like hard to even think about it.
it's extremely difficult for me to like actually put into words how like I don't even know how to say it, unfiltered I live my life genuinely. Like there isn't many revelations a lot of people are gonna have. There are some for sure, but that's their fucking problem, not mine.
Aiden.
Like my kid, yeah, my kids ain't gonna have that. My wife, the most thing she's got to be dealing with is being sexually harassed constantly now.
That's what I'm worried
All
about.
right.
I would be so embarrassed going out in public at all. Like I literally like it would just be bad. It'd be
Aiden,
bad. Yeah, he was stroking his beard. He's got something over there.
he's deep in thought.
He's beard stroking.
I am deep in thought.
He's thinking about the Bass Pro
Is the
Shop.
money worth never being around anyone ever again?
Depends on if you care.
Can you use the $2 million?
I'll still hang out with you.
Is it for the rest of your life that they can hear your thoughts, or just until you
Yeah,
spent
forever.
the $2 million? Because
No,
if that's the
forever.
case, I'll just go baller out that $2 million on an island somewhere where there's very few
Oh.
people.
Forever?
Forever.
Yeah, forever.
I can make it work.
So if I'm all of a sudden rich, and they can hear my thoughts, and then I'm somehow poor again, and they can still hear my thoughts.
Yep.
Mhm. Mhm.
You better play that $2 million right.
And take my ass down to Five Guys Burgers and Fries and get me a cheeseburger. Then
Bones. Can I?
Caden and
I wrote down one that was almost the same as that one, but less like finicky. Would you rather live rent free in a small apartment for the whole of entirety of your life, or would you rather live in a mansion rent free for 1 year?
Apartment, pretty easy.
You can't sublet it. You can't do nothing but live in it. But yeah, I'm feeling like.
Can I also not live in it?
Yes.
Like I can vacate if I want to
Yes.
eventually.
You can't like
And I
make
could use it
money
for
off of it or
storage.
no shit like that. But yeah.
Yeah, I think apartment pretty easy actually.
Does this apartment like grow depending on the size of the family moving into it?
No, well, yeah, I just meant small in not like actual physical size, but like small as in like you can live here, but it's not a house. You know what I mean? Like, would you
Yeah.
rather be like have 80% of the room that you need, or have 1,000% of the room that you need for a year? Would it be fun to just like ball out for a year and have big dope parties and shit like that? Or would you do you take the choice where like, hey, no matter how bad I screw up, I always have a place to live?
Do I still have 43 cents in my checking account in this mansion?
Yes, exactly. So you still have to
well,
like
no,
buy your
definitely
groceries
not.
and yeah. See,
I
and
will
feel
have
like
one gumball at my
the
party.
rent, we're gonna go old school with rent. Rent used to include utilities until like the 60s. So like electricity and heating and all the extra things that would be more expensive in the mansion are covered, but like groceries, internet, cell phone, all that stuff you got to pay for still.
I would
Yeah,
absolutely.
apartment.
I would do mansion.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just to see what the other side lives like,
no,
right?
fuck no. I don't give a shit about that. But my kids, my friends, and all the shit that I would do, like that 1 year of socializing and hosting, I know it's completely against my personality, but I would give as many people that I care about, which is few, but as much of a taste of that and an experience of that as I could before we went back to our monotonous lives.
Have like a summer camp and invite everybody over.
I'll
and
always
have
the opportunity to get a shitty apartment.
Yeah, I feel that. I like the idea of that security though, bro. Just knowing that like I could totally screw up and I always got a roof over my head. That would be a nice feeling to have.
There's always homeless shelters. Caden's going to empty them out, apparently.
What I had been saying was...
All right, Caden, what you got?
Oh, well, two things. Just wait for some shit to go down the world, man. There's be some
someone's going to
all kinds of crazy shit going down. We'll have like tournaments for the homeless and all that stuff. And then
we're just going to keep bleeping this forever. Every time it comes up, we'll just keep bleeping it and no one will ever know what it is. It'll be hilarious.
Oh, hopefully no one thinks it's like what it could be really bad. Hopefully
I know
they don't think that.
they're going to think the worst and it's pretty bad, but not that bad. It'll be hilarious.
Speaking of bleeping, I just put my drink on the...
Why would you do that? Neil, 3325. We have to bleep it out.
You.
Write it down, Neil. Sorry.
This is the worst bit ever, Thomas.
I don't know what you mean.
All right. So probably the apartment, just because I feel like it would be kind of similar to what I live in now, almost.
The other thing that I thought too is like because of we're doing this, like if you know you have that little apartment, even if you can afford a nicer place or a bigger place or whatever, like wouldn't it be dope to have that little apartment as like an office for the podcast, or like have a place where you can go have solitude, like have a man cave that's actually like a whole separate apartment and stuff. Not like have like a mistress or nothing, but like, you know what I mean? Have like your own little place in the world outside your house. That'd be kind of cool.
Have a guma. No, I'm thinking more along the lines of saving money. I think just because I think how much more will be in my bank account right now.
Can I do a quick fire one?
Sure.
Would you rather eat a can of cat food or get hit in the balls by a can of cat food hit by a hockey player?
Oh God, I don't want to eat
that
that.
one. Bullshitter. I might eat the cat food too. We're all cowards. We love our balls.
I think I would eat it. Yeah, I think you just rupture your nutsack.
What flavor, my friend?
We're going like
tuna.
Yeah. No, it's got to be like chicken, and it's gonna have an eyeball in it. It's gonna be bad. But you get.
Can I prepare it however I would like?
You gotta just eat it out of the can cold.
Ooh,
drown it in so much fucking ranch.
Yes.
Ranch and fucking.
I like
Frank
my
Fred
Friskies with ketchup.
Get my fucking liter bottle of Tapatio. Just.
Yeah,
that's right.
Okay, yeah, I thought of that one when I was getting ready and brushing my teeth and stuff, and I was like, I have to write this down.
All right, here's the one. This is just basically, I mean, Caden and I can answer it, but I feel like the better answer is going to be from you two. If your child was switched out at birth and you found out 1 year after that birth, would you rather get your actual child back or keep the one you cared for the year?
Ooh.
Yeah, take it first, Caden.
Caden's pretend children. Fuck that children.
I was going ooh, 'cause I was thinking about what you guys were thinking. I was like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I would try to, I don't know. Does the people want their kid back too, or?
We'll just pretend that doesn't matter in this case scenario.
Ignore everyone else's feelings.
If that's the case, then, I feel like you grow attached to this child. I feel like you're going to try to keep them and get your child back. Then
Mhm.
Nah, you got to switch. You only end up with one baber here. They still want to also have a baber.
You didn't say that. I just said that.
It's like
You're like,
Sophie.
Yeah, you either keep the one you cared for the year, or you go get your actual child back. You don't end up with one. You either swap with them or you keep it the same.
Did you
And
say
they're just
1
cool with it
year?
because they're awesome. Yeah, they're a year old.
See, that's a game changer too. It'd be way different if they were 6. You know what I mean? What do you think, Dan?
Oh yeah, I think that makes it a lot like it's easier. It's just like, okay, well, you're basically my child now. So, can we get a fatherly perspective on this, please? The people
Okay.
are
so I have 2 answers to this. One is just we'll call it a silly answer. The other is what I would consider a genuine answer. The silly answer would be you got to sit there and you dress up as like some kind of service worker or some fucking electrician or something. You go knock on the fucking door. You got to scope out like how'd they do with this kid? Like is he trained? Is he is he being raised right, or is the one I got, is he better? We're comparing here because I don't want to get pushed backwards. That sucks. I don't want to have to like fucking redo any bad work. What?
You said, is he trained? So this child's 1 year old. So I just like to imagine Dan peeking through the window and he's just like fucking speed bagging the speed bag, just a 1 year old baby. Yep, exactly.
But in all seriousness, if
he's trained.
If it's a year, I mean,
it's a baby and stuff.
There's not any like monumental things that are going to really take place that can't be undone or any of that. You're basically teaching it how not to, snap its own neck when trying to build up neck muscles, and how to crawl and not eat something that'll kill it. Like you're basically just taking care of a baby at that point. I mean, it's a year. But it sucks to suck. I'd probably do the swap for sure because, this kid's got biological parents and things instilled in it genetically that ain't going to vibe with me. I'd rather get something that is an offspring of me.
5 years, though, right? 5 years.
5 years?
Even 2 years, man, honestly.
Yeah, personality definitely starts to shine through it at 2 years.
In the eyes.
Yeah, at 5 years, you're going to start, like, things are going to start to develop, like, looks and character and shit like that, to where, like, you're going to start to wonder if your spouse cheated.
Well, that's the thing that about those, when you watch Maury and stuff, and everyone's like, I can't believe he's not mine, or whatever. Like, one of the reasons is, like, by age 3, they start copying you. That's what kids do. You know what I mean? Like, they start saying stuff that you say. They start doing shit with their hands that you do. They sit the same way that you sit or whatever. Like, that starts happening early, man. If it was any more than a year, I don't know if I could switch. At a year, yes, I would switch.
Caden?
Edgy kind of answer just now.
Okay, let's hear it. You're just, if I got to bleep out a whole fucking 2 minutes, it is what it is.
I'm just saying, like, if you were like, scoping out this house where this child is at, and baby's kind of like, like vegetabilized, and then like, do you want that child? Like, no, I'm just being honest here.
Like,
okay, so what am I inserting over that? My God.
He's saying, what if the other child is a dud?
I'm gonna.
But at one, you can't tell if they're smart or not, really.
I'm gonna.
I'm not talking about being smarter. I'm talking like
Caden's talking about taking on a burden for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Oh, like something's wrong with the other baby, maybe?
Yeah, like
it's named Cullen or something.
Yeah.
Are these people taking care of it? They got the money to do that.
Yeah, we're just
it might be better off here.
That's a very weird point, but not bad. Like, if it was,
I think I'm gonna dub over that
thing, and
I think I'm gonna dub over him saying vegetabilized and be, or whatever the fuck he said, and be like, and he's having a lovely time. Like, oh, do I want to steal his lovely time instead of that fucking demonic shit that just came out of your mouth?
Well, no, seriously, like, think about this. So, like, in your current state right now, like, would you have the means to, like, take care of that child and give that child a life? Or are they, like, where they're at now, they're going to get the best health care and, all that kind of shit, like, what you couldn't provide,
Yeah, try to turn it all wholesome. Now all of a sudden, like, oh, well, he would have a better life here. That's not. No, you wanted to put him in some sort of arena with a little sword. That's what you wanted.
No,
can be Jimmy with a sword.
Yeah, Jimmy and Jimmy.
Basketball. I mean, I'm thinking like
there is some real
worse than
legitimate
Timmy.
stuff.
Like
We're saying, like, what if it was like sometimes babies are born with no eyes? They are never going to be able to see ever. They're going to need all this special school. They're going to need lots and lots of special help. They're going to need, you know what I mean? And I get what he's saying there. Like, if you're living like a real like lower class, you know, you don't have any extras for all that kind of stuff, and they're good where they're at, and your baby doesn't need that stuff. That is a weird version of this quandary.
Colin told me to not make it all wholesome like now.
No, he's trying to redeem himself to the listener. They know what you were doing. All right.
But no, like seriously, though, what would you do, Colin? Would you leave it there?
I think
Or would you take it?
I'm just so pissed off that I have a child at this point. I don't really give a fuck.
I give them both back.
I'd probably just keep it because I'd be like, I don't know. I already know what you're about. I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, that's kind of what my caveat was. Like, I don't know what any of you guys might know about breastfeeding, but that would be another thing to consider. Like, if my wife breastfed this baby for the year, I don't think that she would ever be able to like trade it.
No,
Like, it's like
it'd be hard.
a super intense bonding process that happens during that time.
Yeah, that's true. Should have brought the ladies in for this one.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try to do a couple that are maybe we could do a little faster. I don't think it won't require so much thought. Would you rather get $2,000 or meet anyone you want?
Is this from history or alive?
Let's just say anyone.
Anyone.
Period. Anyone ever. You want to talk to anyone ever, or you get $2,000.
You have to have a conversation.
Yeah, just like I don't know,
5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Anybody?
My answer's $2,000. If that's that's $2,000. I don't give a fuck.
That's lame. If I could go back in time and talk to Leonardo da Vinci for 5 minutes, it would be worth $2,000.
It would be cool, but I don't know. No one's gonna believe you after anyway. So
Doesn't matter. Just for my own edification.
you know at least.
You want
All
to
right,
go back
Dan.
and
Tell
meet
me
Mark?
about Copernicus the Third
No.
and his philosophical book, the
Marcus
17th,
Aurelius.
about all the nice things that God can do and Jesus. And just go ahead. Let's hear it.
I would take the $2,000.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Anybody that I care to talk to who's written a book, I can read their thoughts on the majority of issues.
Mhm.
Like anybody that's worth
not written a
talking
book.
to, you're forgettable in every way. But
Oh.
like any historical figure that anybody would consider to be meaningful, as long as you have, as long as you, I don't know, just read. Like they almost every one of them has produced some literature containing their deeply held philosophies and beliefs. Just superimpose that on life if you have questions that you would want to run by them.
I don't know. I just want to know if the spark is there. That's one of my big things. Like, there are certain people that you can kind of tell they just have like a thing that most people don't have about them that makes them excellent. I would like to know if certain excellent people from the past had that or not. You know what I mean? Like, was Leonardo da Vinci just like a super weird dude who was cool and like eclectic and like thought about all this weird stuff, or was he like a obsessive dude? Like, I want to know what the character of some of the people in history was without them being able to hide the bad parts or obfuscate the parts that don't fit the image they already have, or you know what I mean?
Are you going to find all that out in 5 minutes?
I think so. I think a 5 minutes is a pretty long conversation.
All right, Da Vinci, lightning round.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah,
question.
exactly.
Would you rather?
Exactly.
Here's a question for you, Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he Italian?
Believe so.
You speak Italian?
Oh, how the tables. Thomas is just sad for 5 minutes.
Do I mean, I have Google
It's
Translate, right?
crazy. Just fucking like you're like,
Yeah.
what are you saying?
It's not terrible point. It's not a terrible point. I mean, other people like Isaac
Just
Newton.
thought about that.
Isaac Newton, apparently, or Tesla. I would love to meet either one of those dudes and see if they were just wacky, crazy dudes who just happened to stumble upon cool stuff, or if they were like super
Actually
geniuses,
smart.
or if they were deranged, or what their deal was. You know what I mean? Like, Tesla loved the pigeon and all that stuff. Like, how much did he love the pigeon? Was it like a joke that he loved the pigeon, or did he really love the pigeon? You know what I mean? Like, I want to know.
Hmm.
That was a joke. It wasn't. I don't remember if it was a joke. I just remember it wasn't what people think it is. I listened to a podcast.
He
about
seems to have
Interesting.
written some journal entries that are questionable as to whether or not they were joking. But yeah, I want to know. I think within 5 minutes of meeting a guy, you could know whether or not he would have a romantic relationship with a pigeon. You know what I'm saying? or if he was painted in a weird like on purpose to discredit him because you know what I mean.
I've known you for a year, and you have no idea whether or not I would have a romantic relationship with a pigeon, and I will never divulge that information unless I take that $2 million.
I have a guess though. Like, I'm pretty sure that you would not, just by knowing you. And even if I'm wrong, I at least feel like I know, and I would love to know.
I have a strong feeling that our relationship has some complexities that have yet to be revealed.
Are you literally? Do you have a blanket on your lap like an old lady right now?
Shut up. Yeah, go, Caden. Sorry. I didn't realize you had not answered.
Answer was dead anyway, so I'd probably bring back my grandpa and have a 5-minute conversation with him. But
I'm driving your truck.
That's fucking so cute. Now I'm sad. Okay. Anyway,
that's why I just skip that.
Oh, that was depressing. Okay.
I should have gone first.
All right, I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit. This takes 5 minutes. All of you, firm slap. Would you rather poop in the only toilet at the party and it will get clogged, or outside in the bushes?
Oh, I'm shitting so bad in that fucking toilet, dude. I'm blowing that motherfucker up.
I'm a bushes guy.
Fuck.
Thomas,
I'll be the first guy.
Bushes? Yeah, I think I'm bushes too.
That way I can be the loudest guy who complains about the smell. You know what I mean?
Oh, I would definitely do bushes and turn it into a whole thing. It would not be something I did in private.
So all of us are out in the bushes holding hands, and Caden's just unclogging the giant turd in the toilet.
I know, and then we get to go into the party and be like, "Who clogged up the toilet? What an asshole!"
I wouldn't. I'd leave it. Just fucking. All right, ain't flushing. Back to fucking drinking, I guess.
You're not invited to my mansion party.
Yeah. Unless you shit in the bushes.
Because I guess you could, man. Like, I don't know. You could really fuck with some people if you shit in the bushes, though.
Yeah.
Like, and like no one knows. Like, dude's a fucking. And like, it depends how big of a shit too. Like, you
find that one couple at the party
here,
who's being way too obviously like trying to like hook up in the middle of the party, and be like, "Listen, there's this really cool spot behind the bushes over there where everybody goes to have sex." There's just fucking 3 piles of logs. We've all initialed them in the dirt with our fingers. There's just a snake coiled.
I am so disappointed. All right. Okay, here's one that is actually probably going to take some thought, but Dan's going to want to answer this. Would you rather go to hell or heaven for 30 minutes to see what, just see what's going on? You just get to go see, like, you're not actually in hell forever. You're just there for 30 minutes. You get to see how bad or how great it is.
I have a single question before I answer. When you pick one, now in this fantasy, does that mean that you know, or at least are proven, or it is fact that the other exists?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Well, I'll go first since I definitely go to hell. I definitely just go to hell because it's like, well, if it's like South Park hell is not really that bad. But like if it's actually like demonic fucking scary hellfire hell, I need to know how bad it is so I can change myself.
Question: when you get to hell, can you like look around for that half an hour and find the book that tells you exactly why people are in hell so you know what not to do? Or do you just have to guess? Because that would kind of negate that. Then you're just terrified of a thing that you don't know how to avoid.
No. You just know how bad it is.
If that's the case, I'm going to heaven, because in heaven, you're supposed to get whatever you want. And what I want is to know how the fuck not to go to hell.
No, but see, I said you weren't in heaven. You're just kind of observing. It's like the ghost of Christmas past. That's what you are in heaven.
They put stuff on big stone tablets, dog. They just hang out. Like you can't, I don't have to go to the library and pick a book out. There's probably a statue with like a weird circle within a circle and wheels within wheels and eyes and wings holding up a big tablet that says, "Don't be mean to your friends." Like,
okay, but what if that's not what heaven is? That's why you got to go and find out. We're just saying, okay, let's just hard rule. You don't find out either place how you get there. It's just which one would you rather?
I was kind of about to say too, like this is just side topic here, like the whole like how to get in and all that being obviously posted. Why would that be posted in a place that people already are? Like those people don't need to know that information.
That's true. It's a good point.
That's why I thought
it's the same with hell.
Well, I think that's what I think in hell they're supposed to rub your nose in it, right? Like,
well,
like you did the
that
thing.
Depends on if you believe in like the Alighieri Inferno hell, like if you're in a level of hell that is correspondent to like what you did, or if you believe in like
that'd be a nice thing to know about. Is that real?
Yeah,
or
well,
is
that's
it
what I'm
not
saying.
real?
Yeah,
like, do I steal a Snickers bar and I'm fucked for eternity no matter what I do? So who cares? Or like,
If it's that easy to get into hell, like if it's that easy,
It's
then
full, right?
I believe there's going to be a substantial amount of vacancy in heaven.
I concur.
But I'm pretty sure even the Pope has stolen a paperclip before. So, but no, I would most certainly go and, fucking zap around hell for 30 minutes. Absolutely. That would be amazing.
I guess it depends what universe. Like if it's a South Park hell, I mean,
Well, you got to go to find out.
Yeah, I don't
know
care how
ahead.
bad it is. Always hell. Absolutely. Because it can only get better. And B, if I had to pick one, the horrifying, the bad, the absolute worst is what I would prefer to look at and be cognizant of, and just accept and assume that the better is something better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I would always rather be fully aware of the absolute worst it could be.
It'd be much better to come back to your baseline normal feeling after something awful because you'll be relieved versus going to the best thing ever and then coming back here like, oh.
Well, even that, like you go to the best thing ever and you're like, okay, so that was the best thing ever. So how fucking bad is hell? Really? So now you're afraid to fucking look at somebody wrong because some dude in the sky's like,
yeah, that's what we were saying. Like what style of hell or whatever. Like that's a similar thing too, right? Like, is it that whole like heaven being oneness with the everything and hell being separation from everything? Is that the scale we're talking about, or is it like pleasure versus pain? Is that the scale, or is it love versus hate? Is that the scale? Like,
no, it's just that scene in where Squidward time travels and he ends up in the white just abyss and like the void, and it's just him alone, like alone. Yeah, that's what it is. If that's what it is, then fuck off. Like, yeah, you'll go crazy, but eventually, like, you'll be your own best friend for eternity. My God.
Everyone knows I already live myself.
Yeah, not sure.
Do you have to go to one or the other, or can you just opt out?
I mean, if you don't want to go, if you would say I would rather not, you just go ahead.
I mean, that's like a
rather
mystery
live
of
in
life
blissful
answer.
ignorance.
What is the
I'd rather find my own meaning.
what's the in between world like ghosts?
Purgatory.
Purgatory. That'd be kind of cool too.
Some people think
Fuck
this is
people.
purgatory.
I go to hell. Piss on
it. Just to see.
Okay. Excellent. So we're all going to hell. Great.
Show the devil his
we all knew that beforehand. It's fine.
Yes.
All right. Would you rather... I think this one was viral on Twitter for a little while. Would you rather be trapped in a mall for 24 hours with 1 silverback gorilla or 5 venomous snakes?
I'm going snakes.
I kind of think snakes, but then I'm like, I don't know. I have to avoid 5 snakes, whereas I only have to avoid 1 gorilla. But 1 gorilla could fuck me up a lot faster. But also, I don't know. Snakes are pretty fast too, so I'm not sure.
Well, then they can like get in more spaces, and like a gorilla too. You have to think like snakes will just fucking get you. Like they'll come at you. Like gorillas, yeah. Like not to say like snakes are outwardly aggressive, but I'm saying like if you're laying on a shelf up top and one just decides to slither his little ass up there, and he's like, "Oh, that's a thing." Like, here's what it is. Gorilla, like as long as that motherfucker's down there in the food court, and you're over like, I don't know, maybe this mall's cool and sells guns that can kill it, and you're just chilling over there with an elephant gun or a 50 BMG bolted up, chilling on the fucking counter, like, bring it.
Okay, well, no mall ever sells that, so that's not
true. Not true at all.
You're chilling in J.C. Penney. That's what you're doing.
A lot of malls have Walmarts.
You have a tie.
I was about to say the fucking Columbus Mall had Field and Stream. And they have plenty of guns in there that can take down a gorilla.
They probably also got some tannerite in there. They probably also got some
you could send that gorilla to God for sure. But like, you may not even have to. Like, just get up on the roof and hang out for a day.
So that's what I was thinking about the snakes. Like, literally, I would go into any of I would just start searching the stores. I would find some sort of a heat lamp or a space heater, and I would put it out in the middle of an open area, and all of the snakes would gravitate towards it because they're cold-blooded. And I wouldn't have to worry about them. Also, like
they're so small, I wouldn't be able to relax.
Up on you, and you don't make an aggressive move, it literally will curl up into a ball and like warm up on your belly and leave you alone. They only will waste their venom if they feel threatened. Whereas a gorilla is territorial and as soon as you cross the line, they're on your ass. You know what I mean? Like
whatever that gorilla decides is his.
Exactly.
Fuck it. I'll move my house.
It would be much easier to contain and observe the snakes. Also, you got to think about it this way: the inner volume of this mall, okay, however many cubic feet that is, a gorilla is going to make its way through that many cubic feet much faster in a search than a teeny tiny little snake that would fit inside of a cubic foot. It's going to take him, however much bigger the gorilla is in mass than the snake is in mass, it's going to take it that much longer to search you out inside this big ass mall. Also, malls usually have a light fixture that hangs from the ceiling, and my ass is going to go hang out up there.
Question.
Yes.
Are either animals' sole purpose to find you and murder you?
Yes, both of them.
No way, bro.
Ooh.
Oh,
Gorillas
well, in
don't
this
hunt.
fictional scenario. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Gorilla all day. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, if it's a gorilla, all you gotta do is step 1, build Lego Empire State Building. Step 2, throw Barbie doll at gorilla. Step 3, he climbs top of Empire State Building. Step 4, I hit him with RC plane, he falls and dies, and it's all very cinematic.
Why
And
are
I
you this
win.
way?
And then I go to Auntie Anne's and get a pretzel.
'Twas beauty that killed the beast.
Stop it. I just won. You're welcome.
God, I don't know, dude.
I
It's
feel like
like
as soon as a gorilla sees one of us, it's going to see us as a threat and seek us out. But the snakes don't give a shit about us.
No, they all
Especially-
give a shit.
This is the other thing too. You know what else I would do? I would go to the goddamn pet store that's in like every other mall, and I'd buy a bunch of feeder mice and put them in a big box they can't get out of, but the snakes can get in, and just lure them in that way. And then I don't have to worry about it. The snakes won't attack you if they're full. If you feed a snake, it doesn't give a shit about you. It won't barely even defend itself.
he just said,
Yeah.
our sole purpose is to find
Even if
you and
its
kill
sole
you.
purpose is to find and kill me, it's not going to resist that mouse. It's going to eat a couple mices, then it's going to get all lethargic. I think I got this.
No, I don't think so. I think you had sex with this snake's mom, and he's fucking pissed.
Because I killed his mom. Obviously, that would be an instant death for a snake.
Oh god.
You brought
Anyway,
this on.
no, I didn't. I didn't bring
Yeah,
on your
snakeskin
lame
condom.
big penis joke. I didn't do
It
that.
doesn't need to be big. It just needs to exist at all.
I mean,
No,
they
what
do.
if it's like the biggest venomous snake in the world? I would imagine those are fairly
They're
large.
not very big. The biggest snakes in the world are constrictors.
Here's the
That's
thing.
No,
what
but I
You
was
know,
thinking like venomous. It's got to be venomous, obviously.
the gorilla can only be at one place at one time,
Mhm.
and
Sure.
the snakes can be in 5 different places.
That's
And doesn't matter where you are, you're going to be able to tell where that fucking gorilla is. A snake, 5 of those
That's true.
motherfuckers are silent. They're not slow, and
They're
they
not
can
as
get
fast
in a
as a
lot of
gorilla.
places. No, I know that.
Oh, no,
that's
no.
obvious. But I'm saying, like, it doesn't fucking matter.
Snake is what I'm saying. I'm not
Yeah.
beating that gorilla in a foot race. I'm beating the snake.
Well, it's not open land; it's a mall. That's the one thing you
Malls
have
are
in
just
your
big,
advantage.
empty
Is like,
spaces, dog. It's a racetrack. People go there to speed walk. I would be able to just go in a big circle and outrun all of these snakes while they chased me all day. I would just be like,
Is it 24 hours you gotta be there?
24 hours of Thomas apparently being able to speedwalk.
Yeah. Also, snakes are like I said, they're cold blooded, so they can't chase you forever on the cold ass tile floor of the concrete mall. They're gonna walk on that cold walk. They're gonna do their little snake deal on that cold floor for like 15 minutes, and then they're just gonna curl up in a ball and start shivering until they die.
All right, we're gonna pretend to ruin Thomas's argument. The fastest snake in the world can travel 18 miles per hour. Thomas is fucked.
Here's
Is
the
that
thing.
in the water or something? Because
No, that's yes. It's called a sidewinder.
Here's the thing.
yeah, sidewinders travel on sand in the desert, and that's the only reason they can go that
Well,
fast.
guess what? You're not. I mean, even if it was only 14 miles an hour, you're gonna struggle because that's
There ain't
full
no-
run.
You're basically
For a
saying like this
fast
thing is
person.
really fast on a jet ski. It'll chase you over land just as fast.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know how.
There's
fast
also a flying
regular
snake we
is.
could worry about. It actually climbs trees. So that's the other thing too. Is though I'm climbing up the scaffolding onto the light that hangs from the ceiling in the big place in the mall where there's always a fancy light, because all of the snakes that are venomous live in holes in the ground, and the snakes that climb in trees are constrictors. So I don't even have to worry about them climbing up trees to get me or nothing. I'm gonna be in a fake tree, chilling, not
All right,
worrying
Thomas
about
is
getting
correct.
stomped with a gorilla. I watched Nat Geo. I know stuff. I
Solid.
used to have insomnia.
The most venomous snake in the world can only go 5 miles an hour. So Thomas is probably, I mean, that's still a decent pace. You're
That's
more
a
like
jog.
jogging. But
Yeah, that's a jog for sure. How long can they keep that up? That's the question too.
longer than you, I'd imagine.
We evolved for distance running, for persistence hunting, and snakes did not. Snakes are ambush hunters.
Here's a
All
question.
When I had insomnia, I literally would just watch nothing but David Attenborough documentaries trying to fall asleep for a long time. I know a lot of shit about animals.
So are you confident that you won't fall asleep in those 24 hours?
Yes, absolutely. If I'm worried about snakes, I'll be fine. I'm not saying I'm not terrified of snakes. I just am more confident in my ability to overcome their wiles. Whereas a gorilla, if it just decides that I shouldn't exist anymore, he wins. He
Well,
wins.
so wouldn't a snake. Bet you.
Sometimes.
Even then, dude, like if a snake sees me and acts like it's gonna bite me, I still got like at least a small chance of like dodging it or grabbing it in the air or something. Whereas that gorilla, I'm not dodging a gorilla punch. I'm not blocking it. I'm not. They have those big teeth with their like yeah. And also, there's anti-venom. So if I get bit by the snake, I still have like, if I get anti-venom within a day, I might even live. Whereas a gorilla, if I get, he hits me on the head to see if a coin pops out, there's no coming back from that. I'm done.
People underestimate how strong like primates are.
Yeah.
Like I watched a video. These people were in like the Congo or whatever, like like watching gorillas, and the silverback just walks up, grabs the lady by the fucking ankle, and just like walks away and drags her. Dude, people are like, just like,
That's what I'm
what do
saying.
we do? Well,
I
what
feel
do we
like-
do at that point?
Fighting the snakes is like fighting animals, whereas fighting the gorilla is like fighting a monster from a movie. We are all gonna die. Like how many
Definitely
snakes?
hiding.
How many motherfucking snakes were on that motherfucking plane, and he still survived? And that was a plane. That's not even a mall. If it was gorillas on a plane, that movie would have been 5 minutes long.
No, it just would have been that band on the plane. It would have
That
been a
would have
sick
been
time.
dope. Would you rather get punched in the face immediately every morning as you woke up, or poked in the arm 1,000 times equally throughout the day? Taking the pokes?
I think so.
I feel like that drive you crazy though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like Chinese
Like, you
water
just get
torture,
used to
or
it.
just like get knocked the fuck out once in a while.
Who,
Think about that.
who's punching you?
It's not like a devastating
An
punch.
punch.
Yeah, like when you're like 12 and you and your friends would like throw hands for fun, like one of those kind of punches. Nothing
Okay,
crazy.
so
Not gonna break your nose or nothing, but it just hurts and sucks. It's
so
jarring.
Francis Ngannou's not staying on top of me.
Correct.
Going up. Okay, just to be clear. Like if I had a 12-year-old that has to punch me every
Yeah.
morning, I'd probably take that.
Yeah, like 12-year-old as hard as he can. Not like an
Yeah.
adult, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Something
Well-
just jarring and frightening and just unpleasant right off the bat every day.
I guess there's different kinds of 12-year-olds too. There's
Mhm.
like the ones that peak in 5th grade.
Right.
Those ones. I was like, well, I don't know.
All right, I think I got
A grown man,
one
basically.
other good one that I wrote down that I was proud of. Oh, okay, here we go. This one's for you, pet lovers over there. Would you rather have one pet that lives the entirety of your life, just
Yes.
magically,
Yes.
or have every pet you ever own live twice its normal lifespan?
The
One
first
pet
one. If
forever.
I could have Domino forever, that'd be fucking sick.
See, that's because you're dog people, right? I bet if you were more cat people, the answer might be different, right? Because people always end up having like overlapping cat lives in their
Cats
house.
live like 20 years. Like
Yeah.
that cat will be alive long enough for me to hate it.
If my cat lived twice as long as it should, I think I would just go bury myself in the backyard. I'd be like, no, you suck so much ass that I cannot go on living knowing you will be alive until I am fucking.
The reason I was
66.
thinking about it is because I keep walking past the graveyard of guinea pigs I have. All of the guinea pigs we had in our house got COVID when we did and died like right after each other. Bam, 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 bam. So they're just
Yikes.
there's a whole bunch of shoe boxes in my flower garden. And but that's the thing, like even the most healthy guinea pig in the whole world only lives to be like 3 years, 4 years old or whatever. So like wouldn't that be super cool to have like a parrot or a guinea pig or a goldfish that lives to be 80 years old? That'd be super cool. But also like, I
What
don't
you're
know.
telling me is my fish that might live 5 years, I could give them to live 10 years.
Yeah, every one of them. See, that's what I
Fucking
mean.
sold.
Right?
I
And
would do
then,
one pet forever.
I did have my sexy one that I kept mentioning. Would you rather every single person you meet have an intense desire to kiss you on the cheek, or have 1 in 10 people you meet want to just like tackle you and drag you into a broom closet and sleep with you? This is like a you're 18 years old, you're not married, you're not in a relationship, you're just like living in New York City. Do you want every single person who walks next to you on the sidewalk want to kiss you on the cheek really fast? Or do you want like 1 in the 10 people that you see in this crowd being ready to like hunt you down and claim you for their own?
Definitely that one. It's definitely the latter. It's not that. What's a kiss on the cheek do for me? I'm just like, okay, cool.
It makes you feel
think I'm
pretty,
pretty
dog.
sweet.
I might do the former just because, like, you know, like a god, you know, everybody, you know, wants to touch you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, come, my
It's
children.
kind of the idea. Like, would you rather have everybody just like you a little bit, or would you like to have 10% of people like you a whole bunch and the rest not give a shit at all?
Yeah, I think it's the sex one.
Yeah.
Dan, you concur with me, don't you?
Do you think you would monetize it? Is that what you're thinking, Cullen?
Well, I mean,
No,
eventually,
I mean,
somehow that's going to work out in your favor.
Yeah, I just like to pretend this is like 3 years ago when I was very, very single.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would have been pretty sick.
Mm-hmm.
Does it last forever though?
Yeah, this is just a thing you have now. It's like a pheromone disease. You just,
So you can't get married then.
I mean, you can. It's just going to be rough.
can.
You're just going to have to like literally
Be
stiff
rough.
arm people away from you constantly. And this is the other trick question. Trick about the question is it's not people who you are attracted to. It's just people who would be attracted to you. So not every single person is in your 1 out of 10, or not every single person is necessarily going to want to kiss you on the cheek. But anybody who might possibly be attracted to you just will be at either that low level or that super intense level.
I'd love to see some lot lizard just drag Cullen into a closet.
Be amazing.
He's
I
walking
can
out of
still
church.
say no. Like, I still get to consent.
But they're like, it's like a compulsion. It's
are
not
they going to
just
stalk me? Then
yes,
okay,
a
then
little
I'm
bit.
out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I'm not saying it has
I'll
to
just
get
take
creepy
the- I'll take
stalking.
the sad
but
kisses.
Like the sad kisses.
I just thought that. Yeah. It's over. That's it. That's all we got. If you like this episode, which I'm sure you did, you can find the audio version of this podcast on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, on Deezer and Podchaser, and all the podcast apps. If you want to watch all of our eyebrows dance while we listen to each other talk, you can check out the video version on YouTube. Just search Highly Visible. You can find us on Facebook. Search for Highly Visible Podcast. Give us a like. Show us that you care. If you want to find us on Twitter, you can find us at HighViz Podcast, or individually at HighViz Caden, at HighViz Cullen, at HighViz Dan, or at HighViz Thomas. You can find us on Instagram at HighViz Podcast, or, if you don't want to write all that down and, you're not going to remember it, just check us out on Linktree. Linktree/Highly Visible. Everything we got, it's all right there. We hope you enjoyed it. We're glad to have you. Hope to see you next time.